At the end of a hard week, it's great to sit down and take some time off and watch some football. Game-winning touchdowns on 2-minute drives, running backs racing down the sidelines with no one to stop them. There's nothing else like the NFL, and there's no better way to make the games even more exciting than to bet on them. So do the smart thing and go to mybookie.ag. No one gives you more ways to win than they do. MyBookie's got the fastest payouts and better lines than any other sportsbook. Don't forget, where you're betting is just as important as who you're betting on, and mybookie.ag is the best in the business. Do the smart thing. If you're going to bet this football season, bet with MyBookie. If you're the kind of guy that likes to bet a little and win a lot, try a parlay. If all your picks come through, you'll multiply your winnings. And no matter how you bet, the NFL season is the best time of year. Join now and MyBookie will double your first deposit. Use promo code Detroit100 to activate the offer. That's promo code DETROIT100. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid.
Fellas, I want to tell you about a product that can improve your performance in the bedroom. And what better way to improve the quality of your life than to please the woman of your dreams? Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. Blue Chew is the fast and easy solution for any man looking to enhance their performance and step up their game. You don't have to be one of those guys that finishes quickly, or you don't have to be one of those guys that, at the end of the day, regrets not having a great sex life. Blue Chew is prescribed online and shipped straight to your door in a discreet package, so no in-person doctor's visit, no waiting in the pharmacy, and best of all, no more awkwardness. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code DETROIT. All you got to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling fee. Again, that's BlueChew.com, promo code Detroit to try it free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, faster choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the podcast.
What's up, Detroit sports fans? Welcome back to the Fan Reporter Show, made by fans for fans, powered by the Detroit Sports Podcast Network. I'm Nick, and Andrew's going to give us this week's topics.
Hey, the Lions had won the win column on Sunday. Lose against the Eagles, it's a bingo, right? Right? Whatever, it's a Fan Report. We don't care about bingo.
You lose against the Eagles, it's a bingo? Oh, I get it.
That took a lot longer.
Wow, that took me a really long time to get it. Wow, I'm kind of embarrassed with that one. Yes, the Lions did get a win. I was so confused on what the hell you meant by a bingo. And then I'm thinking, you lose to the Eagles, you get a bingo. I had to process it in my head and go through the win-loss column and tie, and I was like, oh my God, bingo.
You're too much.
Don't you get a free space in bingo, though?
Do we need one?
I don't know. You tell me. It's your game.
You act like I play bingo. I don't think I played bingo.
You've never played bingo?
I don't think I played bingo since
Who hasn't
fourth
played
grade.
bingo?
I don't think I played bingo since fourth grade.
Yeah, it's probably saying. Who hasn't played bingo?
I didn't say I have it. I said I don't play bingo.
You never played I don't know, stripper bingo or something?
Stripper bingo?
I don't know. Isn't that a thing? Isn't that a thing?
What is stripper bingo, may I ask?
I don't know.
Oh, before the show gets too dirty, let's get off that topic.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on.
If this was the regular show, we would start proposing ideas for stripper bingo, but that's not. No, we're not doing that.
So there's a tease for the live show, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoy talking about stripper bingo, you can come check us out there. But no, the Lions did get a win this weekend, albeit they scraped it out. They scraped, clawed, grinded it, kicked themselves in the ass.
That's about the only thing that anyone kicked in this game.
Seriously. Chargers kicked themselves in the ass just a touch more. Just a touch more. Well, we can turn that sound off. Thank you. It was a brutal game to watch. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I sat on my couch, didn't have anything to drink. I probably should have. It would have made things easier. And watched drive after drive after drive stall. Defense give up yardage after yardage, and then somehow the Chargers didn't score. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was one drive in this game where the Chargers scored twice and ended up with 0 points. But how? they scored twice, got to the 1 yard line, and ended up with 0 points.
Because Lions of I came in clutch and punched the ball out of Eckler's hand.
Sure, we can go with that. Let's not forget, the phantom holding call or the phantom block in the back call in that drive that the refs gifted us. The block in the back, it was somebody patted our defender on the back. It was
really annoyed
cute.
me on that drive was the pass interference by Galladay. Like, you could have easily avoided getting a pass interference.
Well, that's not that drive.
That was the same drive, wasn't it?
No, I'm talking the Chargers scored twice on their drive.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
I'm talking our defensive drive.
You're right.
That we literally couldn't stop a single play.
You're right.
I think Justin Jackson scored like a 60-yard pass
that was
play.
That was what led to that drive, was that pass interference.
Yeah.
Which really annoyed me, because if he just gone for the ball.
See, it didn't quite make sense to me. Like, it was almost like he gave up on his route.
Yeah.
And was like, I have no shot, so I'm just going to throw his ass to the ground. Like, he didn't even go for the ball. He hardly even turned to the ball. He's just like, oh, he's going to catch it. Goodbye. And then he still picked it off somehow.
Because usually in high contact situations, the refs call in favor of the receiver. But if you're not even going to go for the ball, then you're not going to get like.
I mean, he straight up just tried to like throw him into the ground.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even. Oh, he was trying to just force contact or anything. No, he took his arms out, grabbed him by the shoulder, and threw him.
If he'd just gone up, he would have easily gotten a pass interference call on the
or something.
Yeah.
He would have gotten a PI call.
Yeah.
He would have gotten something,
Yeah.
maybe. And then the Lions somehow managed to allow 2 touchdowns in a single drive and allow them to get to the 1-yard line on a pass interference, I believe, actually. And it turned out to be 0 points. I still don't know how you get that
It was
lucky.
a lot. This game was a lot of, no, here, you take it. No, here, you take it. No, I insist. Please take the win. No, you take it. I insist.
It quite literally was. Like, no, you can have the win. No. We don't want it. You must take it. You must take the win from us. No. I insist. And it was just back and forth of giving the game away throughout the entire thing. You had the Lions miss an extra point and a field goal. You had the Chargers miss a field goal, too, I think. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Now, there's at least some kind of excuse for the Chargers, considering they have a very young kicker who was picked up last week, considering their kicker's hurt. But he was fantastic last week.
Well, it's actually their punter.
Is it really?
Yeah,
no, I thought it was a free agent signing.
No, that's
Long?
their punter. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I could have sworn it was a free agent signing
At least
that they brought in.
that's what the announcer was saying during the game. It's their punter.
Really? I did not know that. That's interesting. He was great in the first week. I know that. But
Made like 1 field goal the first week. It wasn't like great.
no, they said he was great last week. The announcers were praising him for how good he was. Ty Long. Interesting. So there's not a lot of positives to take out of this game. I'll be honest with you. Like if I can look at one positive, Crosby filled in pretty well at left tackle for Taylor Decker. In fact, he played a better game than Decker did in week 1. So there's a positive. Snacks Harrison was albeit almost missing. He didn't record a single stat on defense from what I could tell. Trey Flowers seemed to be around the football in the backfield quite a bit, so he played quite solid. But the things that bothered me the most were Darius Slay continuously being abused by Keenan Allen consistently throughout that game. Keenan Allen was getting by him and being open. And it took the Lions 3 quarters. It took the Lions coaching 3 quarters to decide, hey, maybe we should give him some help. It took them almost the entire game to figure out that Keenan Allen was just beating Darius Slay consistently.
Yeah.
3 quarters. That's a halftime adjustment you make. That's not an adjustment you wait till the 4th quarter to make. Albeit when they did it, go figure it worked. Keenan Allen was quiet in the 4th, and then it led to the game clinching pick at the end. It just that type of stuff where Slay, yeah, sure, he had a bad game. I expect better of Slay. But also, when it comes to a receiver like Keenan Allen, it makes sense to give a little bit of help every now and then. And the fact that you left him in single coverage that long in this game, that bothers me a little bit.
One of the takeaways that I found, I found a little bit troubling from this game, and I don't know if it was more on the Chargers linebacking core playing really well or it was on us, but the run game was...
You're talking about one of the better front sevens in football.
But it wasn't even... Melvin Ingram that was doing all, like, it was, what was the guy's name? Thomas Davis?
He's still a good
outside linebacker.
linebacker.
I know, but like, we couldn't get anything done on the ground against the Chargers. Like
we couldn't get anything done on the ground against the Cardinals either.
That's what I'm saying. This is starting to become a consistent thing. I don't want it to become a consistent thing throughout the season because
it's a little bit. I will say it's a little bit more forgivable against the Chargers than it is the Cardinals.
Agreed. But we can't. That's what I'm talking about. When you have the lead-in of the Cardinals game. It's not like we had a great game against the Cardinals. I'm like, oh, we got solved by the Chargers. Oh, they're a great linebacking core anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We're talking about 2 straight games now where our run game has been very ineffective.
Well, to me, it looks
which is starting to worry me.
To me, it looks like line play. I don't think the line is getting the penetration they need and creating enough of a hole for Kerryon to run through.
1 yard gain
right.
carries for Kerryon.
I'm not saying that Kerryon Johnson has had a great start to the season because I really don't think he has. I think he's missing his hole when it's there, and I think he's struggling in the passing game as well. I've seen him drop a few passes, even on Sunday. The touchdown he had, he almost dropped that pass.
You know who did look impressive though in the limited carries that he got was Ty Johnson. He ran hard.
But I think you're looking at a typical change of pace.
Yeah,
guy.
you are.
You're going to see 5-6 carries where he averages 6-7 yards a gain, like a run. But that's normal. But I am concerned with the line in terms of the run blocking early in the season. And I am concerned with Kerryon's performance early in the season as well because he hasn't looked that great. The stats say he looked okay, especially in the passing game, but he almost dropped that ball. Like he bobbled it a few times. But I get it. I understand that a lot of fans are going to be a little bit upset that we're pointing out all these negatives from the game, and we won the game. I get that. But honestly, from what I watched on Sunday, and I don't know if you guys watched the same game, but there wasn't a lot to get excited about.
Exactly. I don't think I've ever been less pleased by.
And you can say oh, the defense played great. They held them to 10 points. Yeah, but a lot of that was gifted to us. A lot of stupid mistakes. A forced pass by Phillip Rivers in double coverage late. 2 penalties that got 2 touchdowns called back. A fumble at the goal line. Like that type of stuff isn't stuff you can rely on to help your defense week in and week out.
Yeah.
Your defense did not perform all that well because they had all that help. Your kicking team was absolutely terrible. Prater's got to get it together.
Yeah, I don't know what.
I expect he will. It was kicking around football this weekend. Everybody was missing kicks left and right. You had Michigan State missing kicks like crazy from a very consistent kicker. You had Prater missing kicks like crazy from a very consistent kicker. You had kickers all over the NFL missing kicks like crazy. It just was. It was the full moon on Friday the 13th having lasting effects. That's what it was, and I'm sticking to it.
You know what was interesting to me about this game though? That I like the coaching job at that Patricia and Darrell Bevel, the offensive game plan they drew up. But one thing that I found really interesting, and I don't really have an answer to, is T.J. Hawkinson's usage. It went way down all of a sudden. Like I barely even saw him on the field. There was a lot of Jesse James, very little
I
TJ
think you got to
Hawkinson.
factor in matchup in this situation also because you are looking at a far better linebacking core that is far better in pass coverage as well. TJ Hawkinson's going to have a much tougher deal going up against a team like the Chargers and their linebacking core with Melvin Ingram or Thomas Davis, as we mentioned, versus guys in the Cardinals where who's he going up against?
Yeah, but why not use him to try to open up the run game? I mean,
you're not going to open up the run game with TJ Hawkinson that much. I'm sorry. He's not a good blocker, first off.
Yes, he is.
He's a good blocker, but not in effective NFL blocker yet.
Not even just blocking. If you can send him on a route, take one linebacker off, I mean, that already helps.
Yeah, then you're taking off a guy. Then you're taking off a blocker somewhere else. Then you when you run the football, you're gonna want to have your tight end in there to block.
You usually do, but
and more often than not, you're probably gonna have your third string tight end in there to do that because that's what his job is he's a blocking tight end. Not saying T.J. Hawkinson can block. I think he still needs to learn to effectively block in the NFL, from what I've seen. But he is a capable blocker. But the usage, yes, it is confusing. But again, there wasn't a lot available to us in this game. It was a very weird game in terms of game flow because nobody was able to get any kind of rhythm going. It was it's a really confusing game to watch from an offensive standpoint on either side of the football. From the Chargers standpoint with Phillip Rivers and Austin Eckler to the Lions with Stafford and their running game as well. It was very confusing. And Eckler actually looked halfway decent for the Chargers. Yeah. He had some big runs, and then all of a sudden, their drive would just die. And the same would happen with the Lions. We'd move the ball a little bit, and then the drive would just die. And I don't know if it was because of play calling or if it was because of penalties. You definitely can attribute some of it to that.
Yeah.
Or if it was because poor execution. But I saw that time and time again from both teams on offense.
Yeah, and the Chargers have really figured out how best to use Eckler, too, because
I think they
he's
did
best.
that last year.
Yeah, no. Well, remember when Gordon went down, Eckler wasn't nearly as effective as when he was playing as a change of pace to Gordon. But I'm saying this year, instead of trying to run him like they did when Gordon was out, they've kept him in that role where they use him a lot in the pass. And
they did last year too.
And I know they did with Gordon there. But what I was worried about was what they did with when Gordon was out, which is where they started running him up the middle and stuff like they would do.
Well, they didn't trust Justin Jackson as much. Now they know Justin Jackson's a legitimate.
I mean,
back
like
in their
Eckler
backfield.
still did get 17 carries, but I was happy to see that they. I mean, I'm not like
That's a lot of carries for a guy who's supposed to be a change of pace.
Yeah, like this is just not saying I'm happy to see him doing his lines. I'm just like saying I'm happy to see a coaching staff play smart and actually use a guy to where he's most effective.
I just, and again, I know we won the football game, but I'm sorry that I'm not jumping for joy here in the way the Lions played, because I don't think they played that well.
Yeah.
I don't think coaching was that great. I don't think there was not many facets of this game that were that fantastic. The run defense, which is supposed to be the highlight of our defense, was not good. I saw the Lions get gashed for long runs consistently in this game, and it should have hurt them more than it did because, again, they had two touchdowns.
40-yarder on us?
Exactly. And Justin Jackson almost broke like a 55-yarder that was for a score, and it got called back. I mean, in Eckler, the play before Eckler did it. I mean, that type of stuff is inexcusable to need penalties by an offensive team to get stuff called back. And it's not like they were egregious penalties that opened things up. The block in the back was a pat on the back that probably shouldn't have been called. We got lucky on that play. The holding was a little bit different. There was a hold on that play, sure. But the block in the back should not have been called. And there was just a lot of things in this game that I saw mistakes after mistakes after mistakes on both sides of the football. And we were lucky to grind out this game. Now, a few years ago, this Lions team would not have won this game. So there are positives to look at. This team showed grit and ability to fight out for the win. Lions of old would not have won this game. That shows a tenacity that I there's something to be respected when it comes to stuff like that. Is you're able to win the grind them out dirty games.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. So there is some positives to look at in this game, but there's not a lot. And if I'm the Chargers, I'm really looking at the drawing board because a lot of things didn't work in a game that was very winnable for them. And same for the Lions. A very winnable game for the Lions, and a lot of things they tried did not work.
Yeah. You know what this game kind of reminded me of? Remember the Bills game from, I want to say, 2015?
Where Dan Carpenter hit 5 field goals on us and we couldn't hit anything?
We're, like, basically, we couldn't
And he hit a 61-yarder to ice the game.
We couldn't get much going on offense, and then we had Alex Henry, I think, was our kicker at the time, who couldn't make a field goal.
He missed 3 field goals that day. I remember that game like it was yesterday.
But we were still, like, in position to win it, and we couldn't get it done.
He missed a go-ahead field goal at the end of the game, and then Dan Carpenter turns around and hits his...
yarder.
Was it a 56? I thought it was a 61.
56.
Oh, that was Justin Tucker that hit the 61-yarder on us.
56-yarder.
To win the game. That type of stuff hurts, man.
Yeah.
We're lucky
this one we ground out.
We're lucky the Chargers kicker wasn't as bad. Or was as bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
They matched us.
We're lucky the Chargers kicker was a punter.
I mean, he was good the week before.
But
he made a 40-yarder and had 3 extra points and averaged 49 yards and 2 punts. So yeah, he played good. He was named.
He made 1 field goal.
He was named AFC Special Teams Player of the Week.
Yeah, because he had to do both things.
So, but a 40-yarder is not an easy kick apparently. Go as Michigan State's kicker.
But unless you have anything else to add on this game, I kind of want to look ahead to next week.
I was a hell of a drive at the end of the game.
Yes.
And I'm going to leave it on a positive.
Yes, I do agree that was a hell of a drive.
That was a hell of a pitch and catch to Kenny Galladay in the end zone to put us ahead, and I'm going to leave it on a positive. Because I feel like I need to.
Yeah. I was listening to that last drive actually on the radio because I was driving my parents off to the airport. And, why is his name escape? Dan Shepard? Is that his name? I can't remember the Lions play guy in the
Matt Shepard?
Matt Shepard, yeah.
Nah, he's the Tigers guy. And
No,
Michigan basketball.
I think he does Lions too.
No, it's Dan Miller.
Dan Miller? Oh, whatever.
It's Dan Miller.
He called the crap out of that final drive. Man.
Oh my god! A little excited. I mean, if you want, see, I'm not a big fan of the Homer announcers.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a little bit corny. Mm-hmm. But if there's a Homer announcer I do like, it's Dan Miller for the Lions. I think he does a good job. Damn good job.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, looking ahead to next week, we're taking on the Eagles in Philly. I believe,
That's
right?
going to be a tough game. I know they lost this week on Sunday Night Football in heartbreaking fashion that destroyed my fantasy week. Thank you very much. That one play literally caused me to lose both matchups.
That one Julio play.
Anyways, I'm still bitter.
But how do you like this matchup for the Lions?
I don't love it at all. In fact, I think the Eagles are a team that on the offense side of the ball are able to do both, run and throw the ball better than most. Albeit they don't have a legitimate lead back, but Jordan Howard is only a few years removed from a 1,000-yard season. They still have guys like Corey Clement who can beat you. They still have guys like, I think I saw Darren Sproles make a play at the end of the game last night. And then in the passing game, they are kind of injured in the passing game with Alshon Jeffrey being hurt and that situation, but they still have Zach Ertz, which Lions have always struggled to cover tight ends, always struggled to. And Carson Wentz is a damn good quarterback.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a tough matchup for our defense. And if our run defense plays the way they did against the Chargers, they're going to torch us. And it's going to be tough, and they're going to keep us on our heels, and it's going to be tough to adjust to their balanced attack. And on the other side of the football, with our offense, the Eagles' defense is one of the best in the league. Their front seven is, you want to talk a good front seven from the Chargers, front seven from the Eagles may be even better.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's arguably even better. They are better. So it's going to be a brutal game. And it's not just one or two guys like Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram. It's everybody.
This is a game.
Everybody produces for them on their D-line.
This is a game where instead of establishing the run and then going to the pass, you need to establish the pass and then mitigate it with the run.
You do need to force somebody back, an extra DB, force them into the dime package or a 3-3-5 and open up some room.
Exactly.
Keep some guys out of the box. But that's easier said than done because they can still get to the quarterback and create some havoc. Now, another positive from the game this weekend was the Lions didn't give up a sack, which is very good. Something a really big positive that we need to carry over into this week. We'll look at the health of Taylor Decker. We'll look at the health of Frank Ragnow, and we'll go from there. But if Crosby has to step in, I hope he plays just as well.
Would you like to, if Taylor Decker is healthy, would you like to see Crosby start over him?
No, I think you got to stick with your guy in Taylor Decker. He's your left tackle that Matt Stafford's adjusted to and knows well, and he's got to have a good rapport with him. Yeah. He just has to play better.
Yeah.
And if if I'm Matt Patricia and I see Decker struggling with the D line of the Eagles, I may switch him out. I may bring in Crosby.
There were long stretches of that Chargers game where the Lions just kept running over and over and over again to what seemed to me just to hide his deficiencies in pass blocking, but he was just fine in the pass block.
I thought he was just fine. He had a couple of penalties, but so does Taylor Decker.
Yeah,
I thought he was far better than Taylor Decker was in week one. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, are they going to keep running this? Is it because of that? And then they would go to pass plays and I'd be watching him he's just fine to me.
Just fine. And that's not. It's not like he's drawing a scrub over here. He's occasionally going to have Joey Bosa in front of him, which that's not an easy task. I know Bosa left for a period of the game, but regardless, this Eagles front seven is a whole different animal, and they're something to be feared. And it's going to cause some problems for the Lions along that O-line. They're going to have problems getting the run game going. They're going to have problems getting time for Matt Stafford. If I'm the Lions, I'm looking at quick routes with quick two-step drops and fire the ball. I'm looking at making things happen quickly as opposed to a consistent running game or as opposed to allowing long plays to develop. I'm looking at those 10 to 15-yard routes, those quick 7 to 10-yard routes, quick routes that get me every bit as good of a running game that I can get in there with high efficiency. Yeah. That's what I'm looking at from the Lions this week because that's how you beat a defense like that.
Do you? I mean, I don't want to say we don't have a shot, but do you have any confidence in us being able to come in and win this game on Sunday?
The confidence I do have is again one of those situations where if this game is close late and it's a grinded out kind of game, the Lions I do think have a good chance to win because I do have a lot of faith in Matt Prater to turn this.
A lot of things to fall
around.
Right for us.
I do have faith in Matt Stafford to put together a drive to get us in a situation to either tie or win the game late. And once you get into overtime, anything can happen. Yeah. So I do have confidence that, yes, we can play a game that way. And if we do, I do think we set ourselves up in a good spot. However, the Eagles are a better football team than we are, and there's no question about it. So it's going to be tough to get there.
Eagles do open as 7.5-point favorites right now.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Can I get a betting egg on this from you?
I hate 7-point spreads, and
7.5.
There's certain numbers that I don't like to cross when it comes to spreads. 3, 7, and 10. Those numbers, when I see 3.5, 7.5, 10.5, I normally like to bet the other way.
What about 20.5, which is what the Cowboys are opening against the Dolphins?
I might take that. I might say screw the 20.5 and take the. I'll be honest. I said 19.5 was too much against the Patriots. New England in Miami, where they've lost 5 of 6. Miami plays well there against the Pats for some reason. 19.5 is a ton of points. They won 43-0. So I'm not going to make the same mistake this week. I think the Miami Dolphins are a kindergarten play school team. All right? They're terrible.
Yep.
So it's honestly, why are they still playing Ryan Fitzpatrick? How awful can Josh Rosen be? He can't be any worse than what Ryan Fitzpatrick's done. He can't be. It's honest to God, I could do better. I could do better. But anyways, back to the Lions. So it's 7.5 points. I know I said yesterday that my prediction is the Lions lose this game by 10, but for betting reasons and probably what the payouts would be, I'd probably take the Lions plus the 7.5.
Okay. Last thing I want to point out, even though this does feel like a pretty long shot to win, this almost feels like a must-win looking at the Lions schedule coming up. You know, the Chargers felt like a must-win too, but like going against
Chargers was a must-win.
Yeah, that
was a must-win.
You got the Chiefs at home after the following week, and then you got the bye. Then you go to Lambeau to take on the Packers, and then
it's the best time to go to Lambeau. It's not December,
which I think is starting to actually look like somewhat of a winnable game now. Is home against the Vikings because they haven't looked too hot so far.
Well, they looked great in the first week.
Yeah,
the second week they did not look great against the Green Bay Packers. But honestly, is that Green Bay Packer defense legit?
Maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe they are. Like, I don't know.
They look good in week one. Granted, the Bears' offense looks totally inept.
But yeah, that's a really tough stretch, and you get a little.
It is, absolutely.
Then you get a little bit of a break with the Giants and Raiders.
I'm saying of the next 3 games, what is it? Eagles, Chiefs, Packers.
And then,
of the next 3 games, they bare minimum have to go 1-2. Bare minimum have to go 1-2.
I'd be surprised if they went more than 1-2.
I would too, but that would be my bare minimum.
I'm completely.
If this team wants to legitimately have a shot at the playoffs, bare minimum.
I'm completely writing off the Chiefs game. It's a loss.
Yeah.
And then I'm not expecting them to win both the Eagles and the Packers.
I don't either.
So
I think their best shot is on the road against the Packers.
Best case scenario is they go 1-2.
I would say best case scenario is 2-1. Best case scenario is 2-1 because I do think there is a potential they could pull out 2 games. It's not likely, but again, there are paths to win for the Lions in some of these games. I would say 1-2 for them to have any shot at the playoffs is bare minimum what you need. You can't go into this into the second third of the season 1-3-1. That isn't going to fly. You need to be 2-2-1 if you want to have a shot at the playoffs in this division.
Yeah.
Granted, this division honestly doesn't look as good as we thought. I thought the Packers were going to be better
offensively. Very good defensive division. I'll tell you.
Yeah, a lot of inept offenses though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of inept offenses. There's not a lot of good. The Bears' offense is going to rival the Miami Dolphins for how bad they are. Yeah. that Bears' offense is not good. They looked a little bit better this week, a little bit. The Packers' offense still hasn't hit its stride. They don't look like they're that great. Granted, I expect Rodgers to pick it up. And the Vikings' offense they looked better in week 1 than they do week 2. Dalvin Cook is still fantastic, but who knows how long that's going to last.
Yeah.
I think this division is winnable. I do. I truly believe that. However, Lions do have a tough stretch of games, and if they want to be in that conversation, they need to win one of these games. They need to show that they can be a good football team, because so far what I've seen is they've tied a bad football team and beat what would have been a good football team if they were healthy. No Melvin Gordon. Phillip Rivers is a little bit old. Keenan Allen's been banged up early in the year. Joey Bosa was banged up in this game. No Derwin James. They also lost another defensive back there. There's a lot of injuries on the Chargers. No Hunter Henry. A lot of injuries on the Chargers on both sides of the football. So that was not as good of a football team as they should have been. So they need to show that they can beat a good football team. And that's what the Eagles, Chiefs, and Packers all are. But I will take the Eagles straight up, and I'll take the Lions at the spread.
Okay. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
I just when I see 7.5 point spreads, that scares me because that's that one threshold that I'm like,
Yeah.
So, but anyways, though, that is going to call it for this week, guys. If you have any other questions, hit us up on Twitter at Real Fan Report. Catch our live show Mondays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, www.twitch.tv/The Fan Report. We thank you guys again for listening. I know we don't go too in depth with breaking down our analysis from the Lions games and upcoming games, but it's because we're fans. We like looking at it from the fan perspective as well as having a little bit of knowledge in the game.
That's the story behind the name, the Fan Report. We're
That is
fans.
But we hope you guys enjoyed this week, and we'll catch you guys next week. Andrew, thank you for joining me. Anything else to add?
No. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week.
Catch our live show.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. We'll catch you guys next week. This has been the Fan Reporters. Bye, fans.
For fans.
Thank you guys again. Have a good one.
Peace.